Ignition sequence starts. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. Liftoff. We have a liftoff.
Hey everybody, this is the Digital Asset Investor. Wanted to read you a post-election statement from Link2, my sponsor. It says, new era for digital assets. Policy shifts could be on the horizon. Trump's recent win could present a new opportunity for digital assets and cryptocurrencies. Prior SEC regulation has thwarted advancement in this space, whereas Trump's administration plans to drop stringent SEC enforcement measures which may foster innovation and growth. Notably, XYO's integration with Solana exemplifies the rapid advancement in decentralized infrastructure. Companies like Uphold, Ripple, and Consensus may have potential to capitalize on these favorable conditions. It is on like Donkey Kong. Those are my words, not Link2's. You can go to linqto.com to check out the private equity on the platform, or you can download the app. Get it. Ooh, let's check in. This was posted on the official Rush Limbaugh. Who listening to my voice does not miss this guy?
We are not sunk yet. We will never surrender. We will never give up. Never, never, never. It's not who we are. It's not what we do. We never give up.
And you'll see what these people tried to do to this country in DAIXRP.com. It's laid out, folks. I did put in a special request for Gary Gensler. You remember these cheesy smart aleck videos he did while he was doing his crypto
What
crackdown?
does stake have to do with our securities laws? That's S-T-A-K-E, not S-T-E-A-K.
We all remember how insulting these were, and he was literally making fun of all of the people in crypto that he was going after. So I asked him, I said, hey Gary, can you make one of these videos about being fired? It will go viral, I promise. Everybody gets it. Now, I wanted to remind everyone that the XRP Unleashed is coming out. They're changing the name to, I believe it's called Rigged, the SEC War on Crypto. And as we all know, Jay Clayton was all in some ethgate. And so I sent this to President Trump. Mr. President, you need to watch this before you appoint Jay Clayton to any position in your government. One word, China. So we need to make the Trump administration aware of it. This, I thought this was funny. And I said, is this where they hide ethgate? This is apparently a secret room in the A16Z New York City office. You know, A16Z of ethgate fame. And I asked if this was the secret room that they hide their participation in ethgate.
That's cool.
There's Chris Dixon's book. Watch when they pull away, right there. That's Chris Dixon's book. You remember Chris Dixon, the guy that Jay Clayton met with on January 25th, 2018. I think that's the right date. And that's what set the Ethereum free pass in motion. Oh, this is so great. Anthony Scaramucci. He's the guy that Trump fired, and he's also the guy that's been involved in FTX, Solana, just about he's also buddies with Mike Novogratz. You know, he just happens to pop up anywhere where there appears to be an inside a bunch of VC insiders that are getting information you and I don't have. He pops up.
Coarseness to some.
Joe Kernan just lights him up here.
The rhetoric. There was some threatening suggestions to people related to being political adversaries and so on and so forth. And I hope we can put that rhetoric aside and we can move forward and think about what we're going to do as a country to unify the country and make the people in the country, particularly the lower and middle income people in the country, more prosperous.
The rhetoric got heated everywhere. You got pretty heated, Anthony, at times.
Joe, how did I get heated? What did I say, Joe?
About Trump?
Yeah, what did I say? I said I repeated what he was saying. I said this is wrong.
Anthony,
come on, Joe.
you have had an utter disdain for Trump. You'll always be welcome at the table of legacy media and have people nodding as you trash Trump. That's always going to happen. But aren't you the slightest bit embarrassed or at least humbled about how wrong you were about
Joe,
the feeling of most Americans, let me finish, and for enthusiastically supporting a candidate who a majority of people thought had no business being anywhere near the Oval Office? And you're a Republican, and you saw all the different policies that she was talking about are anathema to what you thought your whole life, and yet you went along with it. Do you ever eat any crow, or not even a little crow wing, like a little cape on? Or you just, I mean, Michael Avenatti could still be on TV trashing Trump. You'll always find a place on TV. If he wasn't in prison, he'd still be on CNN running for president with Brian Stelter. Just give me a little bit, Anthony, about how wrong you were.
Joe, first of all, I immediately put out a congratulatory tweet. They won, we lost. In the immortal words of Barry Diller when he lost a Paramount deal. Next, Joe, what would you like me to do? Do you want me to get on bended knee before you?
No, I thought you were going to start that it's going to...
That's not even what America is about, Joe. We have a violent disagreement about lots of things related to Trump's personality. You like Trump. I was up close to Trump. I got to see the ugliest of what he is. And by the way, Joe, it's not just me. There were 40 of us that worked for the president that warned people.
So I think he's been very good for you.
Maybe he's just ugly when he encounters incompetence and people that can't do their job.
He's been very good for your career, Anthony. I mean, he's been incredibly good. You're here, are you not? And you're going to be welcome anywhere you want to go. I think he's been very good for you. And you'll be able to live off this for another 4 years.
Joe, why don't you calm down? Why don't you calm down a second, Joe? We know each other a long time. Are you saying that you and I can't disagree on somebody's...
All right. That's very satisfying. The official cool guy of the Digital Asset Investor channel, as usual, has called it right. Can we unbookmark this now? This is Anthony Scaramucci back October 3rd, 2024. VP Harris will win the Blue Wall, Michigan, Pennsylvania, Wisconsin, and Nevada. You can bookmark this. How did that go for you? Check this out. This is Paul Barron.
It's interesting, it's just the Ripple conference, and it felt pretty TradFi, compared to some of the other conferences I went to, and I can see it growing.
I was looking at your tweet. What odds would you give the appointments of Pierce as the chair? I'm kind of curious. What are you seeing now that you got a little bit of feedback? Do you think Pierce would be it, or maybe Ueda or someone else?
Well, when Gensler leaves, she's going to be the acting chair, I think. That's what our regulatory guy said. Be 2 and 2. So I think she'd be a great chair. I really like her. We've interviewed her for the podcast. She's a nice person. She's a libertarian. She thinks just, disclose all you've got to let the people have some choice. And she's more of a free market person. And I just think that's a better way to approach it. That's just my opinion. So I think she'd be great. And with her, I think you would see some of these coins approved.
I don't. I think that she's a lukewarm personality. We need somebody that has a lot more of a forceful personality than Hester Pierce. She could have done so much. She could have been a whistleblower. If she really wanted to be appointed to a significant position, she could have blown the whistle on a lot over there at the SEC. And then she'd be a hero now, and she'd be a layup for an appointment. Here's Tom Lee. He's calling for Bitcoin 150,000 by the end of the year.
Join us now on the markets. Tom Lee, head of research at Fundstrat Global Advisors, chief investment officer at Fundstrat Capital. And the list goes on and on. Annie's a CNBC contributor. First post-election appearance that we've had. You knew Trump was going to win.
Well,
not many people did.
Yes, that's.
I'll give you credit. Are you saying you didn't? Maybe you didn't say it in so many words, but you said it.
Yes, I'd say that we were placing a lot more weight on what the betting markets were pointing to, and so and we when we look at all the deltas,
And you
that
saw
would
it in the
take us
Trump
that direction.
trade,
Yes.
and you saw it in Bitcoin,
Correct.
and you saw it in sectors of the market that would benefit from,
That's right.
presumably, but who knows, from a Trump presidency. So 1,500 points out of the gate. More to come, or are we're already there?
I think we need to respect this move. I mean, there was a tremendous rally post-election, and it continued yesterday. I think it really does reflect a lot of money was taken out of the market because of the uncertainty around the election. And now we know that because of policy changes and animal spirits, that this is really going to benefit things like Bitcoin and small caps and regional banks and financials. So I do think there's still a lot of upside. I mean, small caps trade at 10 times median forward earnings. I mean, that's a...
So what do you think that should be? 12 times? And what's the opportunity set in your mind?
Well, since 1987, small caps traded on a median PE basis at a premium to the S&P. The S&P is at 17 times. So I think
crypto.
We keep talking about the bond.
The death knell for the market.
Invest optimistic. I mean, I kind of agree with the idea that there are animal spirits growing.
He'll never be deficit friendly, will he? I mean, he will be deficit friendly. He won't be, if we cut taxes on tips, Social Security, overtime.
It'd be very difficult to fix the deficit with...
I think, on Bitcoin, weren't you? But
yeah.
Not necessarily by the end of this year, or?
I think 6 figures is still possible before the end of the year, yeah.
And then more next year and the year after?
Yeah, I think because now, post-halving and now Bitcoin's becoming a lot more relevant, and I think maybe the regulatory overhang is diminishing, that there's a lot of upside from here, yes.
Okay, S&P, end of next year.
Well, between now and year end, 5 to 10% is probably the base case, just because that's the type of rally post-election, and we have a dovish Fed and, the normal seasonals.
Is that the right move right now for the Fed?
I think inflation fighting war is largely over, and, the real rate is still too.
Okay, in DAI XRP, we're going to talk, things are getting heated up. We're going to talk about a massive declassification that's going to happen. We're going to talk about censorship firings. And we're going to lay out exactly what these people did. It's much bigger than many of you think. What was really going on over the last, really it's been 10 or 15 years max, I think, when they initiated what they've tried to do. I'm not going to say what it was out here, but I will say what it was in there. I'm the digital asset investor. I'm not an investment advisor. This is for entertainment purposes only. Please subscribe, hit the like button. Tell your friends and family, away we go.